Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm Stevie Nostalgia, and it appears we have a new trailer for Thor. Well, we got a new trailer for Thor Love and Thunder today, and it was awesome. We got so many more details from the upcoming film, and the story appears to be coming together a little bit based on this latest trailer. We got our first look at Gorr, a ton of energy between Jane and Thor, a lot more time with the Guardians than expected, and we're going to Olympus, where there appears to be lots of fun and maybe some flicking problems. So let's break down the whole trailer and talk a little bit about what's going on. First and foremost, let's talk about Christian Bale, because his Gorr the Godbutcher looks awesome. I have to say, he really does bring the character to life on screen, despite not being absolutely comic accurate. Now, the look is totally menacing, and I really do like it. This is pretty much torn right from the comics, and the story appears pretty consistent with that Jason Aaron run. Christian Bale always brings it, and I think this is going to be quite the role for him in this upcoming film. Whether he survives the movie, we'll have to wait and see, but regardless, Bale is going to bring Gorr to life, and I think give fans exactly what they want. Now, one of the other big parts of the trailer was the Guardians. Now, the whole opening scene with Korg does appear to be the same planet that the Guardians are with Thor. Notice how all the people are blue. Also, having Korg there is pretty interesting because that suggests that Korg has joined Thor during that time frame that he spent with the Guardians, not something we saw in Endgame. I also love the narration from Taika Waititi. He's a funny guy, and he knows exactly how to make everybody laugh, and that opening part of the trailer was a lot of fun. Now, this movie is called Love and Thunder, and I think we saw exactly why. The energy between Natalie Portman's Jane Foster and Chris Hemsworth's Thor in this trailer is better than the first two movies pretty much totally combined. I actually think this is the aspect that is going to separate them from the other gods, allowing them maybe to get the advantage over Gorr. Like I said, it's called Love and Thunder for a reason, and clearly Jane Foster and Thor Odinson are renewing that relationship that we got to know in the first two movies. Hopefully, it's not cut too short by Jane's health conditions, but we'll have to wait and see. We do get quite a few extended looks at both Jane Foster and Thor in costume. Actually, it appears Thor's going to have at least 3 costumes in this movie, if you don't consider the one on Olympus relevant. Her look really is rock solid. And we got a couple of teases of her abilities in the trailer, so it does look like they're doing something fairly unique, but pretty consistent with what we were expecting. I think that's Marvel's MO though, isn't it? Give us what we're expecting, just not in the way we're expecting it. Now, the other biggest thing from the trailer was the time spent on Olympus, and it does appear that it's going to be quite a bit bigger than expected. I actually think we're going to spend a lot of time there, and it's likely going to be the better part of the second half of the film. The reason I think this is we see Valkyrie fighting Gorr with one of Zeus's lightning bolts, and that clearly feels like the end of the movie, so that might be where the final showdown happens. It also appears there's going to be somewhat contentious initial interactions with Thor and the rest of the Olympian gods, and it totally does appear that Zeus really does have a flicking problem that might need to be addressed in the film. Pretty hilarious. Grape? With this much time spent on Olympus, I don't think there's any way possible we don't get some sort of reference to Hercules. He may very well be a character in this movie, and boy could Marvel surprise everybody with a big casting for that character that doesn't leak until the movie comes out, but we were given 0 indication in the trailer. Now, there were a lot of other little aspects that I did like. Thor's helmet is torn right from that battle armor we've talked about a couple of times, which I am a big fan of from the Walt Simonson run. There was also quite a few Easter eggs, probably the biggest one when Jane Foster was charging up. Go towards the end of the trailer, and when she raises the hammer above her head, you see the Watcher, Death, and the Living Tribunal, as well as several more statues that aren't quite clear, but are obviously going to be from the greater Marvel mythos. That alone should make a lot of comic book fans excited. Now we're probably going to start moving into the phase where we get more clips of this movie than trailers, and I think this is something everybody should be excited about. I think Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth have another home run on their hands. Thor Ragnarok was pretty fun, and I think we're about to get a very similar adventure in Love and Thunder. But until we find out more, what do you guys think? How did you like the latest trailer for Thor Love and Thunder? And what did you think of the relationship energy between Jane Foster and Thor Odinson? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.